All right, let's dig into the Boring Company. They're aiming to make tunnels exciting.
Yeah, tunnels.
Using their website as our guide, we're going to explore how the Boring Company envisions a future where tunnels revolutionize transportation. It's not just about digging holes, it's about creating a whole new transportation system.
It really is a fascinating concept. The Boring Company is tackling the practical needs of today and the ambitious possibilities of tomorrow.
Right, like traffic. We all hate sitting in it. Right.
Don't remind me.
Well, the Boring Company's answer is the Loop, a network of tunnels designed to transport Tesla vehicles. Basically an underground highway. No stoplights, no pedestrians, just smooth travel.
A dedicated express lane, just for Teslas. They've already started putting this into action with the Las Vegas Convention Center Loop. It's a great example of how they're trying to solve real transportation problems.
Yeah, and it really shows what they're capable of. Imagine attending a huge conference. Instead of a 45-minute walk across the campus, you just hop into a Tesla and arrive at your destination in 2 minutes.
That's a huge time saver.
Absolutely. You could spend that time networking, attending another session, or just enjoying a coffee break.
Exactly. While the Loop is a practical solution for now, the Boring Company is also looking ahead to a future of high-speed travel with Hyperloop.
Now, this is where things get futuristic. We're talking about transporting people in pods through tunnels at speeds exceeding 600 miles per hour. Imagine a trip from DC to New York City could take less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
I know, right? Almost like something out of a sci-fi movie. How does that even work?
Well, the key is they create a near-vacuum environment inside the tunnels. By reducing air resistance, the pods can achieve these incredible speeds. It's actually based on a concept that Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla and SpaceX, first outlined in a 2013 white paper.
I see. So it's all connected innovation across multiple companies pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Their website, specifically the projects page, gives us a glimpse into how they're making this vision a reality.
Yeah, they have projects in different stages of development. It shows their strategic approach to innovation and implementation.
Makes sense. Starting with their R&D tunnel in Hawthorne, California. This was where they tested both Loop and Hyperloop technologies. It's amazing that they completed this 1.14-mile tunnel back in 2018 for under $10 million. How does that cost compare to traditional tunneling methods?
No, it's significantly less. Traditional tunneling projects often cost hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars per mile. The Boring Company is focused on cost-effective engineering solutions and innovative drilling techniques. They even have their own tunneling machine. It's called Proof Rock. It's designed to dig faster and more efficiently than conventional machines.
Wow, so they're not just building tunnels, they're revolutionizing the whole tunneling process. Speaking of real-world applications, there's the LVCC Loop. Not only is it operational, but it's already transported over 1.5 million passengers. And it can move over 4,500 people per hour.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
It really shows the potential of the system.
Right. And there's also the Resorts World Connector. It connects the convention center to a resort on the Las Vegas Strip.
Oh, I read about that. It's already partially operational, right?
Yeah. Yes, with further phases under development. It highlights their commitment to connecting key destinations and creating seamless travel experiences.
I see. And then there's the big one, the Vegas Loop.
That's where things get really ambitious.
For sure.
This project aims to connect major points of interest across Las Vegas: the Strip, the airport, the stadium. And they're even considering connecting to Los Angeles in the future. It would be a massive 68-mile network with the 104 stations.
Whoa, that's incredible. Imagine the impact on a city like Las Vegas. Tourists could travel between casinos and attractions without hassle. Locals could commute without dealing with traffic.
It would be a game changer for the city's transportation.
Absolutely. But of course, a project this big comes with its own set of challenges.
Oh, for sure, there are significant considerations, like financial viability, safety, and regulatory hurdles. These are all things we need to discuss further.
Definitely. Let's dive into those next.
Okay, let's talk about those challenges. All right, let's start with the financial side. The Boring Company says they're making tunneling cheaper through innovation. But scaling that up to something like the Vegas Loop needs a lot of money. So how do they plan to make these systems financially sustainable?
Well, they've mentioned a few things on their website. They're focused on reducing construction costs through efficient engineering and automation. They've also mentioned generating revenue through user fees, like tolls on a highway, and maybe even advertising within the tunnels.
That's interesting. But even with that, the upfront cost for projects like the Vegas Loop is going to be huge. It makes you wonder about public funding and partnerships between the government and companies like the Boring Company.
Yeah, if cities want this new type of transportation, they might have to work together. But beyond money, safety is a big concern. Being underground makes people worry about what happens in an emergency.
You're right. Public perception of safety is important. The Boring Company emphasizes using electric vehicles in their loop systems. This reduces the risk of fire and emissions compared to gas-powered cars.
Yeah, that makes sense. Electric vehicles are safer in a tunnel. But what about ventilation? Do they have systems to keep the air fresh?
Oh yeah, ventilation is super important in tunnel design. They've said they use advanced ventilation systems to keep the air clean and control the temperature, and of course, emergency exits and protocols are essential for any underground system.
So they're thinking about those what-if situations and planning for emergencies. That's good to hear. But even with safety measures, accidents can still happen. What about system failures or things they didn't anticipate?
That's where monitoring and communication are important. The Boring Company says they use real-time monitoring and sensors to detect problems and respond quickly. And if there is an emergency, clear evacuation procedures are critical. Everyone needs to know what to do.
It sounds like they have a comprehensive safety strategy. But beyond immediate safety, there are bigger issues to think about. How will these systems change urban planning and development?
That's an interesting question. If we can easily move people and things underground, it frees up space above ground. Imagine cities with less traffic, fewer parking lots, and more green spaces.
Yeah, it could change how our cities look. We could have more pedestrian-friendly areas, and that could improve air quality and make cities more livable. But what about accessibility? Will everyone be able to use these systems, or will it create a divide between those who can afford it and those who can't?
That's an important point. Accessibility is key for any public transportation system. The price, the location of stations, and how they connect to existing transportation will determine how fair it is.
It's complicated, but we need to think about it. And then there's the environment. The Boring Company talks about electric vehicles having fewer emissions, but construction can be disruptive.
Yeah, tunneling involves digging up a lot of earth and disrupting things. The Boring Company says they're minimizing environmental impact with their methods and electric machinery. But we still need to look at the environmental effects of each project.
It's all about weighing the good and the bad and making informed decisions. And we can't forget about regulations. These are huge projects that need lots of permits and approvals.
Exactly. Regulations can be tricky and take a long time. They involve different levels of government and community input. The Boring Company has run into regulatory problems before, like their plan for a tunnel between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. It faced challenges, and they had to scale it back.
It shows how important it is to work together and be transparent. Talking to communities, listening to concerns, and navigating regulations will be key.
Absolutely. It's not just about having a cool idea and the technology. It's about understanding the real world, finding common ground, and finding solutions that benefit everyone.
So the Boring Company isn't just an engineering company. They also need to be good at communication, collaboration, and working with the government.
Yes, they need to be great at building things and negotiating. Their success will depend on their technology and their ability to build relationships and create a shared vision for the future of transportation.
It seems like the Boring Company is trying to change everything. Not just transportation, but our cities and maybe even how we live. We've talked about a lot, from how Loop and Hyperloop work to what it means for cities, the environment, and even society.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating look at technology, innovation, and the real world.
Now we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Boring Company?
What stood out to you?
What excited you? Or maybe worried you?
Do you think underground transportation can solve problems like traffic, sprawl, and pollution?
Or do you have doubts about whether it will work, how much it will cost, or what might go wrong? We really want to know what you think.
Because in the end, the future of transportation depends on all of us. It takes conversation and a willingness to explore new ideas.
We've talked about the possibilities, the good things, and the challenges, but the question is this the direction we want to go?
Is this the future we want?
Before we finish, we want to leave you with something to think about.
The Boring Company's vision is bold. They're not just trying to make things better. They're trying to create something completely new, something that could change how we live, work, and travel.
It reminds us that progress means challenging the way things are, thinking differently and trying new things.
Even if those ideas seem a little crazy at first.
Whether or not the Boring Company succeeds, their work makes us think about what's possible. It makes us imagine what transportation could be. So, the next time you're stuck in traffic or walking down a crowded street, imagine something different.
Imagine a world where transportation is easy, efficient, and maybe even a little fun,
Imagine cities designed for people, not cars.
with lots of green space and clean air.
It might seem impossible now, but like the Boring Company shows us, we create the future.
With our ideas, our creativity, and our willingness to work together.
Thanks for joining us. We hope this made you curious and inspired you to see the world in new ways.
And that's it for this deep dive.